We made it, boss. This is the Aztec homeland. This is where it ends, one way or the other.
The final conflict. We have every faith in you, leader.
Black and White 2 is the latest strategy game from famed designer Peter Molyneux. And as you can probably guess from its name, it's also the sequel to 2001's best-selling Black and White. Now, the original Black and White is admittedly something of a controversial game, as most gamers either loved its open-ended nature or were disappointed by it. So the big question is whether Black and White 2 is any different from the original. And yes, Black and White 2 features a stronger story and game to it, though this does come at a cost to some of its freestyle nature. In Black and White 2, you play as a god to the Greek people, and they really need a god. In the beginning of the game, the Greeks are crushed by the powerful Aztecs, but you manage to spirit away a few survivors to a distant land, where you must start over and rebuild the civilization from scratch, with the eventual goal of getting even with the Aztecs. In order to get even, you must overcome your opponents through force or through peace. Black and White 2 takes its name from the fact that you can be as good or as evil a god as you want to be. For example, you can be a completely benevolent and kind god who provides for your people, or you can be a harsh and cruel god who works his people to death. Most of Black and White 2 focuses on city building, as your main goal in each land is to establish a powerful city, so they can defeat the resident inhabitants through either peaceful means or by force. By creating a dazzling city, you can convince the inhabitants of other towns to abandon their god and join your city. Or you can use a big city to create a huge army and conquer those cities by force. Generally speaking, the city building and real-time strategy aspects of Black and White 2 are solid. You can create elaborate cities easily thanks to the incredibly simple user interface. You can also raise huge armies with hundreds of soldiers and throw them into the fray. There's a third aspect of Black and White 2 as well, an almost puzzle-like element as you get to answer the prayers of your people. In some cases, they may ask for your assistance that you can choose to provide. In other cases, they may have a problem that only you can solve and you have to figure out how to solve it. Solve it though, and you get tribute, which can be used to unlock powerful new abilities and buildings. The most interesting part of Black and White 2, however, remains the creature, your animal avatar in the game. You can train your creature to be a warrior or a caretaker or something in between. The creature is actually sophisticated artificial intelligence that actually learns as you play the game, and you can reward and punish its behavior by petting or slapping it around. One of the big improvements in Black and White 2 is the ability to now see what your creature's thoughts are, so you know exactly what you're punishing or rewarding it for, and you have immediate feedback on whether it learned its lesson. This lets you train your creature quickly, though one of the charms of the first game was the fact that you couldn't see your creature's thoughts, so it was more like watching a puppy or newborn experiment with the world, sometimes with hilarious results. Unfortunately, the artificial intelligence in Black and White 2 isn't one of the game's strong points. The computer is fairly passive, and it sends units at you piecemeal. It even camps them within range of your archers, so you can kill them easily. The lackluster AI is one of the weak points of the game. The other is that the pace can be incredibly slow at times. When you get down to it, you're essentially building the same city over and over again on each world, and you have to wait for the city to grow. As a result, there's easily upwards of 20 hours of gameplay in Black and White 2. If you previously played Black and White, how you felt about that game will determine how you feel about Black and White 2. If you wanted more of a game, then Black and White 2 delivers, though if you like the open-ended nature and charm of the original, then you may be dismayed by some of the changes. Still, Black and White 2 is a solid strategy game with excellent production values, and it offers a fairly unique style of gameplay. After all, how many city building, real-time strategy, virtual pet games can you think of?